Hi and welcome to this module on light sensitivity and visual support for migraine. So us migraine sufferers, we can find that we are much more light sensitive to the average person, and there's good reason for that. First of all, our system requires, as a migraine brain, requires really good energy and energy delivery system, and the eyes are really, really hungry on the brain. So they require so much of our resources. And when those resources are limited or they're not necessarily sufficient, our brain or our body gives us symptoms such as light sensitivity to say, hey, I can't spend this currency that I need for that body to be able to do these functionings. I'm going to put you into a dark room because I don't need to spend as much money, or I don't need the available energy for me at that time. So there is reasons behind your symptoms. Once you understand that, it's actually your body's way of saying, I can't do this. Can you please listen to me? I need to be kind. So we need to support our body from a light sensitivity point of view, and there's many ways in which we can do that. We can also experience things like further oxidative stress when we are looking at screens a lot, for example, and being able to support that and also supports the inflammation response is also a really good idea as well. But there'd be certain environments as a migraine sufferer that you're going to find that you're going to be more comfortable with and will be less triggering. And so I've detailed some of these for you here as well. So things like fluorescent lighting, things like big shopping malls, supermarkets, shops. If you are quite a chronic migraine sufferer, you've probably noticed that those type of environments can really trigger you really quickly, and they're really hard to be in and around. And that is why. So the lighting, also when we are looking at things like slatted blinds, light coming through, fan movement, this can also cause this similar effect. So it can be really hard on that. There's lots of support so that when we are having to work on a computer, for example, using things like screen overlays can be really helpful, and it's something that I personally do all of the time, and I have that on my devices and my computer screens. I also will never be without my migraine glasses, so I will cover these for you, but you can get these in like an amber lens, which is what these are, which gives you like 100% protection towards that blue light blocking. So these are really good things that if you are working on screens, I kind of see them as an absolute must if you find that this is a real trigger. And sometimes you don't even know it's a trigger because it's happening all of the time, and it's just that underlying draw on your resources, if you like. So these type of things can be really good. You could also get clear ones, which will just look like a regular pair of glasses, for example. So these are my amber ones, these give you 100%, and then these are my clear ones, so these will give you 50%. So if you're working with a computer screen with a shield over the top, generally that gives you around 100% protection, but it just depends on how sensitive you are and what you need. I also use things like this, so this is from OcuShield. There's links on my shopping page on my website for you to use with discount codes, but this is a particular type of light which is migraine friendly and also blue light blocking. And you can do things like change the brightness, you can change the type of light it is, if you want warm light, white light. So there's loads of options with this, and I find this really helpful, and you just recharge it. Then also have a look at things like energy saving light bulbs, because for me they're super triggering, and there's certain particular lights as well. I find that I can have a migraine within seconds of being around them. So again, it's something to consider and have a look at. I've given you some links to some of my favorite products so that it helps you source them a little bit better, and there's discount codes there as well for you. But please do go and check out my shopping page on my website, because I have a whole host of things there which is really there to help support you and guide you to products that I kind of really rate and enjoy. Obviously there is other products out there too, but I'm just trying to make your life a little bit easier and one less thing to have to worry and think about, because when you've not explored these things, there's a mountain out there. And how do you know what's good and bad? Also consider things like taking breaks. It's really important to take a break when you're working on the screen anyway, because it's really hard on our eyes. But when we are a migraine sufferer, try to include those breaks. Make sure that you are hydrated. And if we feel that there is some, like we want to increase the energy production and delivery to the brain, there is mechanisms. And I really like to work with my clients on a one-to-one basis with this as well. So I really hope you find all the following modules really helpful, and do consider light, because it's often a really, really big one. And do remember that when you do get a migraine, it's your body's way of saying, I can't spend that money, I'm putting you in a dark room. So there is reasons behind it. And as you start to support yourself, hopefully you may find that you can shift that. And also do remember that around a migraine, when you're having a migraine, you want to cut back and really avoid that screen use and avoid all those light triggers as well. And remember that post a migraine, you're going to be more susceptible. So do remember that and try to scale the way that you introduce light back in. A really top tip actually that I haven't covered is wearing sunglasses. So as a migraine sufferer, I was guilty of this many years ago before I understood what was happening. And you tend to find that wearing a pair of dark glasses is always like, oh, this feels a lot better. So you end up then wearing them all of the time, and that can include inside the house. This is a bit of a common mistake that I see people make, and so you want to be able to limit your sunglass use and switch for something like this when you're inside the house or working on screens or something along those lines, and use your sunglasses for when you're out in the sunlight, because this will be more effective. What you can actually do is by wearing them all the time, you become more light sensitive. And then when you do expose yourself to light, you're more likely to have migraine. So it's a gentle balance between supporting yourself, but then also getting your brain and your eyes to be able to function in those environments a lot better. So that's just a really handy tip that I've discovered the hard way too. So do look at maybe investing in something like migraine, and these are migraine shields that I'm wearing, but there is lots of brands, and I will put them available to you so that you can see them. And for example, my clear ones, they're from OcuShield. Again, there's a link on my website, but I will give you a bunch of options within the module too. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Take care.